Forget all those complicated English word stress rules. In this lesson, I'm going to give you the only 5 specific and easy word stress rules that are actually useful. And if you apply them correctly, these rules will help you hear the stress of every word in the English language. Bye-bye complicated rules. The 5 rules that we're talking about today are part of the core of English rhythm and stress, which is why they're so useful. We'll learn the rules and see examples in this lesson. In the next lesson, we will apply these rules in order to actually train your ears. Now, if you already know these rules, but you still have problems with word stress, you probably haven't applied them in the way that I'm going to show you in these 2 lessons. First, we have a rule that we've talked a little bit about in previous lessons, which is content words versus function words. Let's do a quick review. For 1-syllable words, if it's a content word, it is always stressed. Content words include nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, negatives, and the WH question words. If it is a 1-syllable function word, then it is normally not stressed unless you have a special reason to stress it based on the context. Function words include pronouns, prepositions, the articles the and a, and other types of grammar words. Remember that this first rule only applies to 1-syllable words, because if a word has more than 1 syllable, at least 1 syllable will be stressed no matter what kind of word it is. But which syllable? That's where these next rules apply. Look at these examples and try to notice where the word stress is. Market, picture, student, teacher, candle, glasses, bedroom. Rule number 2 is that most nouns are stressed on the first syllable. Again, listen to these examples and try to notice where the stress is. Simple, easy, golden, narrow, stupid, blinding, bigger. Rule number 3 is that many 2-syllable adjectives are also stressed on the first syllable. Now let's do the same thing with verbs. Try to notice the stress. Increase, suspect, apply, erase, complete, maintain, subscribe. Rule number 4 is that many 2-syllable verbs are stressed on the second syllable, not the first. This is partially because there are many nouns and verbs that are spelled the same, but switch the stress pattern. Rule number 4 has a very important extra detail that will save you a lot of time and effort. And that detail is that there are more exceptions with Rule 4 than with Rules 2 and 3. But that is okay, because the exceptions are usually cases where a noun and a verb, or sometimes an adjective and a verb, have the same stress and are pronounced exactly the same. Note that you should never learn a word without listening to it. If you read it somewhere, go to a site like dictionary.com or forvo.com and listen to a recording of it. The 5th rule is one of the single most useful rules, especially when we're talking about words that are 3 or more syllables. If a word is created by adding to a root, then the root will usually keep the stress. For example, manage, management, manageable, unmanageable, manager. Using these rules to help train your ears will make it a lot easier to hear the stress in longer words and even in other types of words like two-syllable prepositions. If you're ready to start training your ears and master the word stress of every word in the English language, click here for the next lesson. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.